Three, two, one.
Did you know, or have you ever thought about being agreed with or being seen? Which would you rather have? We're going to talk today about that topic. And with that, Jeff, do you see me? Because I want you to agree with me also. Don't I look pretty in pink?
So what happened if I'm like Stevie Wonder? Do I see you?
Ha ha. You know we love Stevie
No,
Wonder.
of course we see each other because in the true sense of the great relationship that we have, we pay attention and we look deeper than the surface.
Okay, so what exactly does that mean, or what does that entail? I think of that I see you from, is that the movie Avatar? Is that what it's called? I see you. And to me, and you and I talked about this pre-show because you had a different answer. That's why we're the yin and the yang. And I had a different answer is when you tell me you see me, it's not that you agree with me or that you think I look pretty in pink. It's that you see me.
Right.
Me, my uniqueness, my one-of-a-kind God particle-ness. Because we all, every one of you out there, deserves someone who sees that specialness, that uniqueness, and sees you. Sometimes we can get caught up with, we want to be right and we want our significant other to agree with us. And those are two different things, right?
Huge.
Right, Jeff?
Being seen versus to just go agree with it's the difference between something with depth, something with content, something that's rich, opposed to something that's just, hey, here we go. Here's your response. Here's your answer. And a lot of the times when you agree with someone, opposed to really being in the so-called moment, is that you're doing it to have a brush off. You're doing it to end that uncomfortable situation, or you're agreeing with just, please, no more hassling. Just, yeah, it's fine. And after a while, even though that situation may be gone, but the buildup behind it is that your significant other was all of a sudden start not feeling appreciated because they're not being seen. They're not being honored. They're not being respected. Because you're just agreeing and just, okay, whatever. And it's that whatever that often builds up the wall, if you will.
The wall, yes.
And the distance start to increase.
Yes.
Because it's whatever. Well, do you care about someone? Yes, I do. Do you care about your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend? Yes, I do. Well, then it isn't whatever, is it?
No. So were you paying attention?
Isn't that?
We had a situation just at lunch where
we did.
My husband Jeff asked, how do you know her name, the waitress? Now, granted, we were on the bar side of this
I'm looking at the menu, defense.
What's that?
I said, I'm looking at the menu to my defense.
Oh, okay. He was looking at the menu. But I had a lively conversation with Bridget,
Oh, is it Bridget now?
I'm sorry, Bonnie. Bonnie, because I asked her, where's Clyde? And she said, he's working. I go, oh, doing that. He missed that. And 10 minutes later,
I saw it. I just didn't know what you were doing.
10 minutes later, meal was done. Two waitresses served us. So Bonnie came at the end and got the to-go box for me. And I called her by name a couple of times. And Jeff says, how do you know her name?
Yeah, because she wasn't wearing a name badge.
Unlike that because I asked her, we had a whole where's Clyde, conversation, and I thought he was sitting at the table with me.
Well, I saw this ... crap, but I mean, usually when she's doing stuff like that, I'm looking at a menu. The menu aspect of it is a little bit more important because I want to eat. And
Here
I'm ready
putting
to
on a show. I'm developing
rapport
with our server.
Yeah.
Now I tell you that story because it's cute. It's did I feel unseen? No. I mean, in a way, because, I was performing for him too, but not in a significant way, of course, because he was, in his defense, looking at the menu. It was 2:00 and we hadn't eaten breakfast yet. So, yeah. So that's a different that's different than, witnessing, mirroring your partner,
Sure.
reflecting, affirming. All of those words say, I see you. I care to take time with you. I'm paying attention to you. You're more important than, this in front of me. And I know that, this thing, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's very important in our lives. But again, we have to be disciplined and make a decision to put them down, so that we're not in the same room with our significant others.
So you're
but
saying this is a
disconnected.
problem? Having a device
Yes, dear.
is a problem?
Yes, dear. Of course, you know that.
Well, I just want to make sure clear. You just kind of went like this. I'm not
Oh.
quite sure where you were going with
A device.
the device.
Yeah, the device.
Distraction.
Distraction. Right.
Yeah, gotcha.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, we had a conversation just yesterday with our
I think we have a
granddaughter.
conversation about distraction using devices almost on a daily basis
Almost.
because it's so much infiltrated our society.
Right.
And if we want to be honest to each other and we want to be engaging with each other, and the fact remains that, are you being seen? Are you in the connection? Because if you are, then your device viewing time and activity time should never supersede the amount of time that you're spending
Absolutely.
on your
And
relationship.
how many, I know it can be comical. I've seen the memes and the comics that, people sitting around in a social setting together,
Yeah.
After, and we're talking post, COVID pandemic, COVID conundrum pandemic. And,
Yes.
and they're all sitting around and could be connecting, and they're all looking at their phones.
Wow.
That's really sad.
It is sad, but in a sense that the device has trained us in a way that, hey, you better not miss this. Hey, you got to follow up on this. Oh, did you read your email? Because in a lot of ways, let's be very truthful about how the business world has changed. They're now expecting responses in a matter of minutes, not, I'll send an email, and if I get an email tomorrow when I log on my computer, that's acceptable. I've noticed that the business practice has changed to, it's been a half hour since I texted and I haven't got a response.
But let's talk about that, Jeff, a little bit. Okay. Now, every business is different.
Yes.
I can remember years ago being in new home sales and my project manager getting on me because I didn't read my email. Now, that was before phones with email on them. So it was like, really? I'm supposed to log into my computer on my day off and see if you sent me an email? Of course, now they got us hoodwinked to these. There's no excuse. Now, some emails I don't get on my phone for some reason, algorithms, etc. But I believe that you can train people how to treat you. Okay, and you can set healthy boundaries. So I will tell you, like in my staging and design business, my clients know that I don't work on Sunday, and after 5 o'clock, I don't answer my phone. And I can either have an auto message that says that, I'll be returning my calls, if you feel more comfortable with that. But they get the hint when, you're not available. You can say when you're available and when you're not.
Yeah.
Because if not, we do become a slave to our devices.
Sure.
And as much as we can say and try to blame it on the work world, the clients, the this and that, a lot of it is self-induced because this is addicting. Okay. You're looking for how many thumbs up did I get? Oh, how many, whatever. If you're scrolling on Facebook, you can be addicted to this in so many ways. And I think so many people are, do. And we heard me say before, we have one that I know of, big, beautiful life to navigate through and to enjoy and to spread joy, feel joy, and live and share with other human beings. And how much do we want to give away to staring at a device? So only you know how addicted you are to your devices.
And I understand that when you're working for a company, working for someone else, that rule may change that you must be on your device.
I mean, I've had positions where I'm on call. I'm a closeout specialist, and if I get a call, no matter what,
Yep, you got to be on
they
it.
knew I would answer it.
Right. If I was a heart surgeon, I probably would need that too.
That as well, or
But I mean,
emergency, et cetera. Yeah.
The thing is whatever walks of life that you are on, that you have to pay attention and be your authentic self in your relationship. That is the part that between Kat and myself that we've maintained and constant refine, so that way we are truly seeing and being with each other. I can't stress enough that if you don't wake up and the first thing you do is do a self-analysis of okay, am I good today? Am I ready today? Am I putting my best intention in today? Once you do that self regulation and assurance, then it's so much easier for us to honor each other.
Absolutely, because you've got that intention, and
Oh, yes.
you and I do similar things. I'm very protective of my quiet time in the morning. If I'm going to work out at 9, I need to get up at 7. I need 2 hours of meditation, reading my Bible, having my caffeine, and my quiet time, and before I even get out of bed, I do something kind of crazy, and I offer Source, God, whatever you call yours, to blow my mind today. And he does every day.
Of course.
And I make sure that I thank him for blowing my mind.
Absolutely. And that's the one of the things that I always felt, that number one, that you have the moments in the time that you invest to be able to, quote unquote, if you have to say, I went to church. Church is not just a Sunday thing. It's not just a Wednesday thing. It's an everyday thing in my house. But it doesn't mean that, number one, that I'm religious. I'm not like Kat. I don't sit there and read through my Bible or anything like that. But I do take time out and structure myself. And I do take time out to honor myself, because I do know, unless I am prepared, unless I am the so-called bringing the goods, then I can't offer her the best out of this relationship. Not by a long shot. Just because that if I'm lacking, then I am incomplete. My first thought would be that I'm not here. Are you following me on that one? If I'm not here, then how could you be here and be able to participate and be seen? Because then you're kind of somewhat distant. You may be a little bit hollow.
Right. So you're talking about being present, right?
There's not only being present in physical sense, but in the mentally, spiritual sense, in the consciousness sense, in the soulful sense. I mean, all these little key compartments do need to be together.
Absolutely. And that's part of one of the points that I've jotted down here, Jeff, and that is creating a safe environment for your, and a safe field for your partner's authentic self to emerge. And I think we do that very well for each other. We're very much the yin and the yang. I'm an early bird. He's a late bird.
She eats a little bit. I eat a lot.
Okay.
No, we balance each other. We've learned to do that.
He thinks the big picture. I'm into details. So he'll start something where I can't get it started, and I'm right behind him putting in the finishing touches.
Right.
So it works out really well.
Yeah.
So it's taken us 27 years to figure that out.
No, it didn't take us
No.
As a matter of fact, we talked about this right from the get-go.
Right from the get-go. We observed that. Yes.
Because we talked about it's what did lack in our past relationships. What was it that caused us to finally go, that didn't work. It didn't work. It simply did not work. And we're out of it now. Mm-hmm. So how do we make sure the next one, which became this one, that we weren't going to have that so-called pitfall or the so-called the lack of concrete foundation? Because I gotta tell you, it's very easily to just give in to something that is easy, that is attracting in sense of the negotiables are heavy. So therefore, it seems like it's 85% there. And now I'll go with the 85%. And then, of course, the 85% start to wear down to 50% just because it was never complete. It was never fully fulfilling in the first place.
And if you want to know more about negotiables and non-negotiables, pick up my book, Miracles Online, the chapter on writing your profile. We talk about that a lot because I just so strongly believe that it's fundamental to, even if you're just, well, actually, I created this when I was creating my profile 27 years ago online to really know myself, to know what am I, what am I looking for? Not only what am I looking for, but what do I absolutely have? Non-negotiables. What would be nice, but not a deal breaker. And that is different for you than it is for me, than it is for your neighbor, because we are all so unique in our, world of the map and our, mind map and our needs and our likes.
Yes.
But it's so important. Yeah,
so
to
the
do that.
first step forward for everyone in regards to this be seen is to be 100% self. Like I said, you got to be authentic of self. So that means you're not putting on a face, you're not pretending, because number one, you're thinking that you will be critiqued and judged. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where you don't want your psyche to be. In a relationship that is going to work, you cannot be sitting there, well, I'm judging you, you judging me. Right?
Deepak Chopra.
Yeah, because judging is not conducive to the success nor the psyche of togetherness if you're going to be, I don't like the way she chews.
It's non-acceptance also. And,
petty a lot of times.
And that's petty. And so let's talk about people who've been in relationships for a while. And this is, no big secret that oftentimes in the dynamics of a relationship, it starts going sour and we start, oh God, I don't like the way he chews. Oh, he dresses like, whatever.
No numbers on his shirt, please. I was like,
we'll
what?
talk about that in another episode, the first date with a number on his shirt. But you can always redress a guy. You can't change what's in here. Just remember that. But, so I think maybe especially women, sometimes we want to fix him, or the male wants to be the knight in shining armor. And I think we talked about that.
Right.
Many of our topics cross over because the dynamics are fluid.
Right.
So you will hear us talk about stuff more than once in episodes. But that's where, sometimes when you start picking on things like, they say their clothes or how they chew or this and that, it might be the very thing that you thought was so adorable in the beginning. And that's what I call the toothpaste effect, where there's a lot of things going on, and you just put the toothpaste cap on and you just squeeze it and it starts popping out holes on different sides because there's so much pressure, okay? Because you're not really dealing with the real thing. But oftentimes the very thing that we found was attractive, cute, different, unique in either, now all of a sudden, for some unbeknownst reason, we can't stand it. That's the toothpaste effect. And where we start fixing. Oh, I just need to fix her. I just need to rescue her, or him, and it goes both ways. What are your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Well, fixing aspect of it is an internal thing for the individual, because it's easier to not look within inward of self to recognize I may have some faults here, or I may have some paradigms that is not serving well to anybody other than I believe it. And that aspect of so-called, I think, decisions and choices are absolutely counterproductive because it's driven by the wrong agenda. The agenda is how do I look at the fault of another person and let me feel better about taking that fault away. So all of a sudden, it's not about the relationship. It's just about you thinking that you could be all this. You could be the...
Okay, so it's like an insecurity. It's like...
Not necessarily just insecurity. It's not saying that it's not insecurity.
Right.
Sometimes it's empowerment. Hey, if I make you better, then I'm more powerful. If I make you better, then I can take that 85% and make it 90%. And then maybe 100% will come if I fix the things that
But
I want.
I think my
you know.
opinion is that dynamic comes from no different than a bully.
Hmm.
It comes from a lack of feeling that
Sure.
you are enough, a sense, some sort of sense of insecurity is where that comes from.
Well, there's definitely,
Yeah.
it would be if you're constantly looking for reasons to fix something.
Absolutely.
Especially it's not about, hey, you know what? The toilet's been broken. The garage door could have been, adjusted, and the backyard needs some fixing on the fence. But you won't touch any of those. But you are constantly criticizing the way she smacks her gum, or you constantly critique the way that she doesn't put a turn signal before she turns right. I mean, you have to look at this from really
or
a
that he's
bird's
a
eye view.
backseat driver.
No, I sit on the side, on the passenger
It
side,
was
so there is no.
proverbial. It was proverbial.
In regards to the things like, I value my life. So if she goes like this, of course I'm going to jerk. That's just natural. But the things I'm actually saying, and that's for comedy effect, what I'm really saying here is that if you're constantly nitpicking or finding, let's just say everything's been going great, it can't be going this great. I've known people that do
That's
this,
self-sabotage.
right?
Yeah.
I've known people that will sit there and go, it cannot be this good. Something's going to fall apart.
And that is self-sabotage.
And why would you create that?
I'll tell you why. There's
Okay.
another dynamic of that.
Yes.
The mind seeks what's familiar. Okay.
Hmm.
That's why you will see or hear about, someone, it can be male or female, who came
Okay.
from a dysfunctional family and their father or their mother was a certain way. They subconsciously seek out that. And you think, why would they do that? Why would they seek someone who smacks them around when her dad smacked her around?
Right.
Or, half a dozen other stories from dysfunctionality in childhood, because the subconscious seeks what's familiar because it feels safe.
But despite of the pain and the angst and
Yes.
the fear, it's still so familiar that they resort back to that, equating to love.
Exactly.
Right.
And that can be sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news is it can be rewired. I do it all the time with hypnosis and mindset coaching through heart space hypnosis. The subconscious is super powerful. It runs the show. We just have to reprogram it, uninstall, reinstall. That's the good news. Is it's fixable.
And the irony behind that is there are people that are fear of restructuring,
change,
changing,
change, sure.
because of they're now going to go away from something that's been cornerstone their entire life.
It's the unknown,
or the entire consciousness awareness.
Absolutely, it's the unknown, Jeff, is what most of us are afraid of, because our subconscious is constantly trying to keep us safe. So it's doing the best it can with what it knows. It's just bad programming. It's saying, I'm going to do this because this is what I know. I'm going to do this because it'll keep me in a situation that I know. And so that's comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we want to definitely share with you, that in this level of being seen, is, of course, it's regards to the self-awareness of it. If you are really having an issue and you are not finding that you could reach that level, hypnosis is definitely a great way to unlock your subconscious. And it's a great way to break some of those paradigms that has been plaguing you from success. And we don't really understand this if we're not involved with it. We understand it because we got ours fixed somewhere along life.
Decades ago.
Yeah. And I knew, like I said, every one of us have our own self, our inner self, and then our ultimate consciousness of regards to, am I really happy? Am I contributing to this relationship? How come every relationship I have ends around 6 months? How come every relationship always ends right after I get intimate? You have to really be clear to know.
And look at the patterns. That's absolutely true, Jeff. You have to look at the patterns, and not everybody is ready to do what I call take the veil off. You have to take the veil off first to be able to assess and go, where is my life at? Are there any patterns here? Because too many people will stay as a victim in a victim mode.
And why do you think that is? Is it just because the paradigm that was built when they were kids?
It's why do they stay in victim mode? I believe it's because they haven't been given the lifeline. They don't know that there's another way out. It's all they know.
Do you think laziness ever goes into that?
I think fear.
Interesting.
False expectations about reality.
Okay.
I think fear.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't know where to go. They're afraid, again, on a conscious level, you can be afraid of the unknown, just as the subconscious is embedded with fear of the
at the same time, if we're in a relationship and you're doing those things, you're going to lose me. You're going to lose the other partner.
Okay. So it gets deeper than that. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, it gets deeper than that. That's called self-sabotaging. Okay. And somewhere in here, I would ask a client, what happened to you? When did you tell yourself you weren't good enough? When did you tell yourself this is the best that you deserve? Because more than likely, that's what's running in the background of the software.
Right.
I'm not good enough. I don't deserve more than that. This is all I've had. This is all I'll ever get. I'm not worth anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what's running in the background.
Yeah.
More than likely. So what happens is the subconscious dialogue, chatter, creates, it's a subconscious thought, and then it creates a feeling and it creates an action that will push you away and sabotage the relationship.
Yeah.
And get exactly what you told yourself is that you don't deserve.
Right. And the sad part is that on the other side, the partner really don't know and have no clue why did this thing fall apart and how come you're all of a sudden acting this way.
No.
And that's the part that to be in that situation, which I've seen before, it's sad because not everybody was understanding what happened. They just knew it fell apart. And they just knew that one person was more dominant over the other. So that one person is going to leave. And the one that is less dominant is going to end up sitting there going, what did I do? What did I do? And the bottom line, if you look at it, it's not what that person did. It's what the dominant person's self was not honest about, was not prepared about, was not constantly refining about. And that's where leaving and quitting, opposed to doing something, seeing the person and developing the communication, it's easier. It's the lazy way out. This is why I asked, isn't it there's a laziness to this? I believe there's some people that are extremely lazy right when it comes to confrontation. It's easier just to quit.
Well, I mean, you call it lazy. I think the deeper emotional aspect to it, Jeff, is fear. I really do. I really think it's fear. And so that fear pushes them away and it masks itself as laziness. Because everybody wants to feel love, give love, receive joy, give joy, receive back. Everybody, that's everybody's birthright. Everybody wants that. Not everybody knows how to get that or how to, clear the debris, reinstall the software to get back to their true self.
Right.
Because we were born our true selves. It's society, neighbors, parents, friends, people at church, people at work, etc., that told us lies about ourselves.
Right. And that's from a big picture perspective. The things that we want, the things that we think we want, and the things that when we got it, do we still want as much once we get it? And we're not being appreciative of it. We're not being thankful of it. So that goes back to, again, maybe you said it's the fear aspect of it. I say it's the laziness of it. But ultimately, who's responsible for it? It's yourself. It's your
Absolutely.
self-awareness, self-intentions, self-development, self-refinement, and self-love. If you're just not on the level with all those things going on, then the hardest part would be to have a fruitful and a successful relationship where you do see each other truly.
And you give each other space
Right.
for that.
No question.
Because it's precious and it's cementing.
It's 100%
for the relationship.
Right.
It's absolutely.
So
cementing.
as we're running up on time, do you have a letter for us?
I do. I'm
Okay.
so glad you asked.
So before we part with the letter, you want to tell everybody where we're at, share, like, and subscribe, right?
Yes.
One of the things that, love and subscribe, support us, because the more we can help, the more people awakens and have better successful relationships, the better we are as humanity. There's no question
because
about
we
it.
weren't taught any of this.
Yeah.
We have a very long lifetime, and you weren't taught probably. We certainly were not taught. And even I think if you go through years of therapy, sometimes it's just surface.
Right.
Talk
Well,
therapy.
it's hard to get anything from therapy if you're not aware of what are the things that's missing.
Sure.
That's like saying, okay, go fix your car, open up the hood, and you don't know what you're looking at, and you don't even have the set of tools that can make that work. So therefore, opening the hood does nothing.
Sure.
So you have to look at it from that
Absolutely.
relationship point of view.
Absolutely. And my thought on, I'm not poo-pooing talk therapy, but I personally have clients that I'm helping that unfortunately, a long time of talk therapy never got to the root cause. They were just trying to fix the symptom.
That's right.
And you've got to get to the root cause before you can fix the root system, whatever that is.
Yes.
So with that, where can they find the book Miracles Online, Jeff?
YAU Publishing.
YAYU
YAYUpublishing.com. You can get it there. We have books. We have free chapters. We got downloadable sheets that you can use as cheat sheets, worksheets, and all kind of stuff there. So visit us there. And also we have a Substack.
We have a Substack, and we have stay tuned because we have promotion coming up.
Right.
Is that going to be posted on YAYU Publishing or on this platform for the giveaway, the digital giveaway?
No, as a matter of fact, what we're going to probably do is once we figure out how we're going to capture everybody's input, whether it's from Substack or we're going to do it from YAYU Publishing, not quite sure which way would be best for everyone, but we're going to do a book club special. We're going to offer limited readers in our club to be able to do free books for reviews. And again, this is something that we feel extremely personal and within our hearts, that we want to be able to touch as many people as possible and be able to share the love, share the techniques and the know-hows. So you have the tools to make the right decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And if you're watching, if you don't mind, respond. We're trying to get input on taking the time to do an Audible on my book. I've been wanting to do it for several months. I'm not sure. I haven't pulled the stats yet on how many people and age groups that would purchase this book would prefer it, to just listen to it. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you have any comments on that, love your input on that. So with that, I'm going to read this letter to Jeff and Kat. Says, when I read Miracles Online, it was like someone finally mirrored back to me the ache I'd buried under years of trying to be, quote, agreeable, low maintenance, or, quote, easy to love. I realized I'd been bending myself into shapes that didn't fit just to keep a connection. And I was starving for emotional presence, for someone to say, I see you. I'm here. All of you is welcome. She goes on to say that line from the book, love, quote, love is not about finding someone who agrees with you. It's about someone who can sit with you in the mystery of who you are becoming. It's become my anchor. Oh, so I'm writing to say thank you for this podcast, for this message, for showing us that being seen is more than a romantic fantasy. It's a birthright. And that the miracle happens not when someone fixes us, but when they witness us, that kind of love is rare. But thanks to you two, I now believe it's possible with gratitude and love, a listener who finally feels seen.
God
Thank you
bless.
for that letter. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
Hope it resonates with someone out there listening. And until next time.
Until next time, much love to every one of you, and we shall see you on the next Miracles Online podcast.